In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the differences between a conventional sleeping bag and a backpacking quilt. I'm going to talk about some of the main design characteristics and why I tend to choose a quilt over a sleeping bag. Hello, my name is Paul and I make videos about camping, hiking and the gear that I use. If that's something that you're interested in, then please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, and that way you won't miss out on future videos. To begin with, I'll talk a little bit about these two bits of sleeping equipment. This is my Alpkit Sky High 700 sleeping bag, and this is my 20 Fahrenheit UGQ Bandit backpacking quilt. So both of these bits of kit have got a comfort rating of -6°C, but they are very different, and I'll go into some of that during this video. So first of all, I'll touch on the conventional sleeping bag. I'm guessing you've all seen one of these before. It's basically an insulating cover to surround your body when you go out camping or backpacking. They come in many different sizes, insulation ratings and filling types. So this particular one has got a down fill, 650 down I believe, and it's kept me really warm in temperatures around -5, -6 degrees. I found that this bag has got a very accurate temperature rating for me personally, but I would do your research before you go jumping into buying any kind of sleeping bag or quilt. So a sleeping bag has insulation all around you, so on top, down the sides and along the bottom too. This zip goes the full length of the bag. This one has a shoulder baffle to retain heat inside and a nice warm hood. Everything can be cinched up using these strings and toggles, so when you get inside, get togged up, you're nice and warm. I'm going to be roasting with this coat on as well. So first thing you might have noticed, using a zip can be a bit of a faff, but you can see the layer of loft around my feet, which keeps all your heat in and nice and warm. So getting that last bit of the zip up can sometimes prove problematic. I tend to pull my hood up first, and then I'm in. Cinching up can be difficult because you've got to find the toggles while you're inside. So the obvious thing you can see already is that my movement is restricted. And if you need to get out in a hurry, it's not always that straightforward. So all of this down that is underneath you on a sleeping bag is getting compressed. Therefore it's offering you very little insulation. That is where a quilt differs, because it doesn't have that material underneath you. But you don't really need it if you've got an insulated pad. So all this extra material and down is weight that you don't really need to carry. This particular sleeping bag weighs in at 1.3 kilos, but my quilt, which I'm going to show you now, has the same temperature comfort rating but weighs only 780 grams. So this is my UGQ Bandit Quilt, 20 Fahrenheit. As you can see, this also has quite a lot of loft to it. This has a different rating of downfill into my sleeping bag. So this has got 850 downfill, which basically means that you get more loft for the same amount of weight as a 651. So a 651 might loft up to say that, where an 851 would loft to that. So you're getting a little bit more insulation for your book. When you flip it over, this is where you notice the difference. So this quilt has got an open back, and then it has a foot box at the bottom to keep your pinkies nice and cozy. This is the new improved snap system to help keep in insulation. So getting into a quilt is much easier than a sleeping bag. Just sit down on my pad, cover my feet, and pull the covers over like I would the duvet at home. Now you may be thinking that you want the insulation all around you, so this particular quilt has got a snap system on it as well, so you can snap these together here. You can cinch this as tight or as loosely as you want. So this goes over your head, around your shoulders. So UGQ have put a dynamic tensioning system in this, which basically brings the bottom of the quilt so it tucks underneath your side, and that helps prevent drafts. You can also, if you want to, strap your quilt to your pad. I've got some of these straps but I don't use them, so there's some little toggles here. These clip onto the strap, so you attach to your pad with like a bungee cord. I'll put a link in the description to the UGQ video if you want to see how that works in full. I've been asked many times about the spec of the quilts that I use, so I have two of these now. One of them is in the blaze orange and this is the blaze yellow. The blaze orange is rated down to minus 12 degrees Celsius, which is a little bit warm for most of the year, and this one's goes down to minus 6. They both have an 850 fill down, which as you can see lofts up really well. I went for the long and the wide version, which is 78 inches long by 60 inches wide, and there's a variety of other features which I'll show you now. So both of my quilts have got their M10 charcoal grey material. This particular one has got a shoulder baffle, whereas my orange one, I didn't bother with this. Both of them have got the zipper foot box. I'll show you how this works and why I like it. So undo the press stud, unzip the foot box. There we go. And then there's another little press stud clip at the bottom. I'm going to free up the tensioners. And now my sleeping bag style quilt has turned into a conventional blanket, which makes this bit of kit far more versatile than a sleeping bag. So now if I wanted to, I can wrap it around me at camp. I could use the blanket to cover 2 people if I needed to in a pinch. Just use it as a regular blanket to keep your legs warm. It's brilliant. Just got it dirty. We don't like that. This particular one actually weighs 20 grams more than my minus 12 degree one. And that's purely because I had an ounce of overfill in both the regular baffles and the foot box, and I also included the shoulder baffle. But for 780 grams I'm going to be toasty warm in most conditions in the UK. So let's get this zipped up and I'll show you what else I like about it. So normally I am a very hot sleeper, shall we say. I get warm too easily and that wakes me up. So when I'm in a sleeping bag I'm very restricted, so that temperature is locked in all of the time. I can't just do this and stick an arm out when I'm really warm, or easily just stick my leg out. This really helps me regulate my temperature during the night. So if I get a little bit chilly I can just pull it over my shoulder, and I find that it's perfectly this is brilliant just for regulating your temperature. So for me a quilt is definitely the future when it comes to camping. But when you think about it, you don't climb into a little cocoon when you're at home, do you? You just pull a blanket or a duvet over you, and then during the night, you know, just you move around a lot, and this gives you the freedom to do that. Because I've brought it with me, I will show you my orange one too. So this one is rated to minus 12 degrees. Most of the time this is way too warm for me in the UK. It does look very similar. I have noticed that UGQ have updated the system for putting the straps on. 10 degree Ultima down 850, unzips really easily. As you can see there's no little press stud there to help close up that hole. But UGQ, like most companies, are constantly innovating, listening to their customers and making the best product that they can. So this video is not meant as a direct comparison between these two products because they are very different. A sleeping bag is what most people are used to, and this one has served me really well over the years. Still lofts up really well and keeps me toasty warm. However, the UGQ Bandit Quilt is custom made, so this has been made to my exact requirements and it fits me perfectly. You do pay extra for this, so I think they're starting around $250 or something like that. But remember, if you're in the UK, you probably will get stung for some kind of import tax and duty. The current Alpkit Sky High 700, this retails for about £179. I think it's on sale at the minute at £150. However, it is not rated down to as low as this particular bag. It now only has a comfort rating of -2, but it does weigh a little bit less than my version. I think no matter whether you choose a quilt or a sleeping bag, if you want something that is really light and keeps you really warm, you're going to pay quite a lot of money for it. If you're on a budget when it comes to a sleeping bag, you might want to look at something that's synthetic. But when it comes to quilts, there's not a huge amount of choice here in the UK. I think Thermarest do a couple, and Alpkit do something, I think it's a cloud base. It's about 100, 150 quid, something like that, but it's nowhere near as warm as this. At the end of the day, both of these bits of kit will keep me warm to -6 degrees. I will probably need to wear a woolly hat with the quilt because it doesn't have a hood with it, but it does give me the freedom to stick a leg out, regulate my temperature, and gives me a lot more freedom of movement. But that's just my personal experience of it. If you disagree or have different experiences, then drop a comment below and let us know. If you want to see this quilt or sleeping bag in action, then please click on one of these two videos. And if you enjoyed or got anything from this video, then please hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.